Hi, it's Anthony Meisner with Land Title. Came to bring your first to know update for Boulder County. If we dive right into this, we can see single family homes are very similar to a year ago. The average is down 4.5%, but the median is up 5.5%. If you look at the condo price in the marketplace, the average is down almost 10% from this time last year. We did have a high point in February, so take with a little bit of a grain of salt, as the median is very stable, very similar to what we saw last year. Our second check on all of this is our average price per square foot. So this one is what leads us to a little bit of concern in the single family home market. We're down 12.5%, coupled with that average we saw before. It would lead us to believe that home prices are actually below where they were a year ago. But, as we watch, as things unfold this year, you'll really start to see how that plays out. The condo townhouse market, though, identical to where it was last year. Last year was the low mark for the year, which very well could be the case this year again. But you can see just a little bit more compressed condo townhouse prices than we saw, in 2024, 2025, 2026 again, just a little bit slower. So keep your eyes on the condo townhouse market. I do think that one will play out. The one interesting fact that kind of caught me off guard here, average or active listings on the marketplace, that supply of inventory, is actually slightly below where it was a year ago. New listings are very similar to where they were last year, 522 new listings on the market. So sellers have not come out of the gate like maybe some people would have expected. Very seasonal norm levels, although they are a little elevated to where compared to what we had, 23, 24, very similar to 25. So 522 new listings coming on the market, 332 pendings though. So 200 pendings less than we had active units. And it's the slower season in the market. So as we get into the next couple of months, watch this. Sellers will come out and list a lot more homes than buyers are active for. So this is concerning, but this is what creates that rising inventory situation. So look at this. We went from 2.5 months of inventory to 2.8 months of inventory. We have to be sitting about a balanced market at this point, probably. It really depends on the year and buyer-seller behavior. But we definitely will see rising inventory throughout the next few months unless something dramatic changes. But compared to what sellers and buyers are doing, that's where we are today. Now look at this. Average days in MLS has dropped from 77 to 69. Very normal behavior as it trends down all the way through June. Pretty normal seasonal activity. You will see this speed up, but will it speed up as much as it was last year? It's hard to tell, but if inventory rises faster, this will typically slow. Now, close to list price at 97.8% is still below where we were a year ago. This is much more of a buyer-favored market than it was this time last year even. So sellers, caution, beware. You definitely will see buyers have the upper hand in negotiations at this point. Clearly, it depends on product type and location and all these other things. But as of right now, from the market perspective as a whole, that one is slightly more concerning than it has been even in the last 3 years. Now, if we look at showings, this tells us what's happening in the next 30 to 60 days. You can see 14.7 showings per active units on the market, showings to pending, right? So basically, if you get 15 showings, then you could go under contract on average. And that actually is a little bit faster than the market was this time last year. Could be because of the lower inventory levels, but showings per listing is also up a little bit. So just a slight bit more buyer activity than we had this time last year. So I think that's a good sign going into a March market. Now, if you have any questions, concerns, and need other information or data, please reach out to me. I'm Anthony at Land Title. Catch you next time.